Aphantasia is a neurological condition that I've had since birth. If you close your eyes and think of a dog, and think of it wagging its tail, now look at the detail in its face and the detail in its eyes. How much detail can you see? Can you see the eyelashes and the little tears on the end of the eyelashes? If you can, then you're hyperphantasic, which is at the other end of the spectrum. If you kind of can see a dog, you know it's a dog, but it's not necessarily very defined. That's kind of where many people are, and there's a spectrum. If you are with the 1% that see nothing at all, then you're aphantasic, which means that you can't pre-visualize things in a photographic form. As a photographer, that obviously makes things interesting, challenging. But the big advantage that it's given me is in the way I see expression. Posed photographs have, since I began photography, posed photographs looked very wrong. They looked very cardboard and fake and artificial, even the good ones. Even fashion models. They looked better and classier and more interesting, but they still looked dead. They didn't see. I saw expression in because I couldn't see it photographically, or so I analysed it in a much more conceptual way, and so it was very much more obvious when it was real and when it wasn't, which led me to try and discover why. Why was the whole world posing photographs and accepting it and not thinking it's wrong the way I did? And it's been a fascinating journey. But what I discovered, the brain, 6 to 8% of it is aware. The rest is all subconscious. It does all the rest of the other processes of our body. It's where the misunderstanding is that we only use 10% of our brains. We don't. We use 100% of our brains. We could use them more efficiently and more effectively, but we use 100% of our brains pretty much 100% of the time. The 6 to 8% is the conscious bit. It's the bit we're talking about now. It's not very good. You can't even do very basic things. You certainly can't ride a bicycle or drive a car or play tennis using your conscious brain. It's not possible. You have to learn how to do it, which is why the first time you try a new sport, it just is awful. And then after a while, your instincts take over. And if you really want to be really good at it, you've got to do it so often that it becomes completely subconscious. It's why golf, of all of the sports, people think about too much, because you can think about it while you're doing it, which you can't in tennis. You're out of breath and running, so your body switches onto your subconscious very quick. But if you can train your body to do subconscious, so you go through a specific routine, you can improve your golf very, very quickly. This isn't a golf lesson. This is an idea about expression. Aphantasia allows me to see expression in detail, and it allows me to look at it in a different way, which means I can help people capture their expression. And the reason that most people don't like their picture is because when they're feeling self-conscious and embarrassed in a picture, that's what they feel when they look at it. So if I am able to capture a really powerful, beautiful expression without all the other normal aesthetics of retouching and all of the other things, you will see the beauty in yourself. You might not describe it as beauty, because we've still got this idea that beauty is somehow some aesthetic that only a few elite people have, which isn't true. I mean, there are obviously beautiful aspects of the elite in society, but beauty is a much more comprehensive idea. And we do see beauty in others that we might not necessarily perceive all the time. And when you bring out that beautiful aspect, other people see it too. So if I take a photograph where for the first time, and I do this regularly, for the first time in their history they've ever seen a picture where they look beautiful and they can say, I look beautiful, other people see it too. And the conventional aesthetics that would normally lead you to feel that's been created by the fashion industry, you don't need them. They help, they add, but you don't need them. You can take a very out of focus, badly lit photograph of somebody feeling beautiful, and other people will see it. You've only got to look at pictures in the National Geographic taken in places where photography is not the same concept. They're not aware of themselves. So if you just Google African village children, and you will see so much more joy and energy than you ever would in a group of Western children, because they're just not aware of themselves. They're completely unaware. Whereas kids here, because they've got the phones and see it, they're all self-conscious and uncomfortable because they're thinking about themselves, and that's conscious. And as soon as the conscious is involved, the expression disappears. And that's why we can go our whole lives without seeing a real expression in our face. But it turns out if someone's manages to catch, and it's actually photograph a real expression, even candidly, is actually really difficult. It's a timing thing. You only have it for a fleeting moment. Expression isn't something you hold. It's a momentary thing. So it's difficult. But for most people, the best picture they've ever seen of themselves was one taken that was candidly, that they didn't know it was being taken, because you're feeling something positive. But if you combine that with a positive environment where we've discovered something really amazing about you that you're actually excited by, then the camera stops meaning so much, and I'm able to capture things. And that's why aphantasia, for me, is a positive thing. Thank you.